subscribe. Darling Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, let's get Media Right. This is a white gentleman. Media Right, what's up, Media Right?
Hey, how you doing tonight, Tariq?
What's going on with
Yeah, I would actually like to agree with you and acknowledge that the cultural contributions from FBAs um, over, say, for example, a lot of the newly um, immigrated Hispanics coming to California, and as you like to call them, tethers or whatever. Um, but and I can't speak for all white people, but I think there's a lot of white people that are not white supremacists. They just want to live in a neighborhood without crime and in a quiet neighborhood, and they might not know how to tell the difference between a tether or they or a FBA or something like that, and they might not have a problem with living near melanated people. They just want low crime and quiet, and sometimes they might get mislabeled as white supremacists for that.
well, the
And
problem with that is in many of these white neighborhoods, it's crime written, meth, molestation, all types of stuff going on. So it's very crime written. So for them to talk about to equate black people with crime, that's a misnomer. Black people are not criminals like that, despite the propaganda. There is no such thing as black crime. I've said that many times. There's zero institutional black crime. It simply doesn't exist at all. There's lone wolf crime that some black people do, but there's no institutional black criminality whatsoever. Now, there's institutional white criminality, there's institutional Asian criminality, there's institutional Hispanic criminality. They have cartels, they have mafias, and all of that stuff in which they facilitate crime and they work with the political sphere in order to facilitate that crime. The Italians, the Irish mafia, all of these people. We're the only people who don't have that. There's zero institutional black crime. Yet, what's interesting, if some fool robs a liquor store in Chicago, we all get blamed for it. That's the I'm white and I say so narrative. But black folks, as a collective, have zero to do with some melanated person robbing a liquor store or doing something stupid, despite the propaganda. So, um, people who are classified as white wanting to live in their little segregated enclaves has zero, zero, zero to do with crime. Because black people, the ones who do commit crime, don't even commit it against white people like that. What that is they want to make sure that their bloodline is not annihilated with proximity relationships. Let's just tell the truth about it. That's what Dr. Welsing talks about. If you are living in a black neighborhood, well, not a black neighborhood, but if you have black people in your neighborhood, that's your neighbor, those kids are going to go to school together, and those children might start procreating with each other. And when they procreate with each other, those children are not going to be white. That's what the real issue is. That's the only reason they have segregation. But the problem with segregation is people start getting into incestuous relationships. That's why the people in your community, those hillbillies in them trailer parks and all that, they end up laying up with their sister and their cousin. And then they start getting all types of weird little neurological issues happening. And that accelerates the low birth rates. So you're kind of in a pickle.
yeah, I think historically that might have been the reason for segregation, but now, like for example, I'm like only 50% white in my neighborhood, and I don't have a problem with most of my neighbors. So
Now,
you know what I mean.
50% white. What's the other? Because it ain't black. All right.
But there's some, but it's also a lot of Asian and
All
Hispanic,
right.
and
Say that. See, say that. Say that because people will say, well, it's just 40% white. But then you have a bunch of Hispanics who are honorary whites. You have Asians who are honorary whites, Middle Easterners who are honorary whites. So they're white on paper. they classify themselves as Caucasian. So if you look at the census forms and the tax documents and all that, it'll say majority white neighborhood. So we got to put everything in the right context. All right.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Because yeah, where I live in Chatsworth, and on paper it says a great percentage of white people. Now the street I live on, it's like Middle Eastern, East Indian, couple of Hispanics, a couple of black folks. I think there's about actually about three Anglo whites. Everybody else is like Middle Eastern and something else. But on paper, they're all white. You know what I'm saying? If you look at that on paper, there's going to be white. But shit, on certain holidays, they be in here playing some Middle Eastern music and some Islamic shit, and I be smelling baklava cooking all up and down the street. You know, so it's an interesting dynamic. Shout out to everybody in here. We in here heavy. Much respect to you guys. Let's get Ish Talking Podcast. Ish Talking Podcast. Hop on in. Hop on in. And
Hey, what up,
brother,
Flex?
how are you?
I'm all right, man. I've been listening to you for a long time, about 10 years,
Man, I
man.
love
I finally tapping in
it,
with
no
you.
doubt.
I was just talking about what you were talking about earlier, about the Indians trading on us in the 1866 treaties and still not paying
Right.
up, but had the nerve to have something to say.
Mhm.
But I also want to give you your props before I tell you why we got to fight. Can I do
Go
that
ahead.
for you? And I was coming up trying to get my CDL about 10 years ago. And I just happened to, try to get me a green book about what's going on with people around the country. And then all of a sudden I go to rolling, blah, 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 you know how you do. And I'm talking to him, I'm listening to the show, and I see a stat that says we only grow like 2% over the next 30 years, and the Latinos boost up, and they even with the whites to take over. And I was like, why is he not focusing on that? So I get on my thing, like you say, the ancestors got to talking to you and made you make these movies that you made. So I'm get digging you. I'm like, okay, and I also seen your old stuff on
Oh,
VH1 too, but that's in here or there. But I'm listening to you. I'm like, yeah, now I finally found my tribe with the black media.
mhm.
I'm like, okay, now this is what I'm talking about. FBAs, we moving in the right direction, and everything is good, but we still in the same situation. Nobody's talking about what's really going on, about how our population is just stunted. We're not growing at all. So then I'm seeing your movies. I'm like, yeah, you not even willing to do it, and the ancestors, like you just said, the ancestors talking to you, and they made you the number one Pan African because you the only one that ever talked about global
Yeah.
blackness.
Yeah.
You the only one. And I'm like, well, how would they say that you are divisive of all
Mm.
people? And because you stay on
Oh
code,
yeah.
stay on code. And I've been following you for like 10 years around that situation in the new black
Oh yeah.
media. But one thing the problem I got with you is you got these music that you're good at, man. Very good. And you got two songs. One of them you didn't make, but you got two songs stuck in my head, and that's why we got
Oh, which
problems.
one is that?
Tariq Radio. Why is your name all in my head like that all day? I got it. I only listen to you on Tuesdays now.
Oh. Ah,
Tyreek Tuesdays. But yeah, and the second one, you didn't make it up, but you had it in my head, and I really didn't want to tell nobody this, but I had to tell you this. I'm addicted to you know it.
oh,
You know which one I'm
oh,
talking about.
I- that's with that song back in the day.
Yeah.
But thank you for the call, brother. Thank you so much. I got to get some more folks in here. Thank you, brother. Queen, what's up, Miss Queen?
What's up,
How you
Tariq?
doing, dear?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. Shout out to the family. It's Queen from Aberdeen,
Oh, shout out to
Mississippi.
Mississippi. What you doing down there, dear?
Well, I'm in Indianapolis now. I'm just up waiting on you to come on.
Yeah.
But I saw something very interesting. How about Candace Owens said that her third a fourth grandfather, great grandfather, his grandmother was Choctaw and Chickasaw. So now, now she
Oh
Indian.
Lord,
Have you have you seen
haven't
that?
seen it. Candace Owens identifies as Caribbean. She is all
That's what I know. And she made a bold statement. I would like to meet my fourth great grandfather's grandmother, who was Choctaw and Chickasaw, but unfortunately, that history was erased. I was trying to find it before I came up, but
yeah,
yeah, but I'm along with that.
yeah, and then people can miss me with that dual allegiance stuff because see, we got to watch people who got dual allegiances. Um, I don't know the validity of that. She wasn't raised by no FBAs. Remember, she was on the Breakfast Club. They asked her, they did the FBA test on her. Like when somebody say God is good, what do you say? And that's an easy one. And she didn't know what to say. Like, okay, God is good. Well, God is great. So she was completely lost. That means you didn't grow up with no type of FBA culture. And she said out of her own mouth that she has Caribbean bias when it comes to doing negative stories about Caribbean women. She said this. This is her words. She said when they would give her stories about Rihanna or Nicki Minaj or any type of Caribbean woman, she wouldn't do it. She has Caribbean bias. So she identifies as Caribbean. So all of that, people, they're trying to backdoor their way on our lineage now because they see where the tides of going right now. They see there's a major power shift with foundational Black Americans now. They see that because we're stepping into our damn power. We got the ancestral wind behind our backs. We got the numbers. And, people are kind of shaking in their boots right now. So we got to watch these dual allegiances and backdoor people. I ain't with all that stuff. Yeah, we're watching everybody and we're checking everybody's paperwork right now. Everybody's paperwork is getting checked because people are trying to crowbar themselves into our damn lineage because basically all we had to do was sit it out and then look how just everything scrambles. All we do is just sit it out and just let everybody go on with their own devices and everything goes to hell. You understand? When we ain't involved, when we ain't in the mix, but things start falling all apart, don't it? Let's get Omega in the building. Mr. Omega, hop on in. Mr. Omega. Uh-huh. Mr. Omega, hop on in, bro. Unmute your microphone. What's
Hello,
up, brother?
what's going on, Tariq? How you
I'm
doing,
good,
brother?
man. What's on your mind?
Man, I kind of been tuning in probably about maybe 10 minutes,
Okay.
and I usually am more tapped in. But I will say this: from the last few minutes that I've been listening, is I've just been invoked in so many ways, and I'm loving all this teether testing. This teeter testing.
Yeah.
Like we gotta get more into that because I remember a few nights ago you had covered like the fastest way to spot a teether or piss a teether off is to ask them where they from.
Yeah.
Like where they from, like where your mama from, where your grandmama and them from, like where you really do you know the last born slave in your family? Because I do
Mm.
on both sides, my maternal and my father's side. Yes, black men have fathers.
Mm-hmm.
I know my father, my biological father. Like, yo, and the stereotypes is crazy out here. And I just wanted to throw it out there. And I don't know how many other listeners is feeling me on this because one thing is for sure, two things for certain is that black men are fathers, FBA men. We're fathers. We're very present. I'm here, and there's millions of others that's like myself. We're not incarcerated. I actually served in the military. I'm a veteran. I served in Iraq. Um, I had my grandfather was a Tuskegee Airman. Um, all I'm gonna say is that I served this country and all these teethers and everybody that got something to say about what we ain't do and and it's piggybacking off of our struggle. We did this.
Oh yeah.
We did this. We did this. We bled for this. So anybody who listening and you tethers that you listening, listen. It ain't what if I said it ain't personal, it's just business, you heard me?
I mean,
It ain't personal.
yes, it is business all day. That's what it is. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the call. And my brother made up a good he brought up a good point. Boy, like I said, when you start asking these folks where they from and they start getting offended, when they start getting offended, that's a telltale sign right there. When they start stuttering and stammering around, that's a telltale sign. And we just, I don't know, for the longest, we just stopped doing that. We used to do that back in the day. We used to do that back in the day because that's how we would know who was who. That's how we knew everybody. You know, but look, growing up in the 70s and 80s, if a new kid came around, what'd your mama them ask? Hey man, who your mama? Where your mama and them from? Where your mama? Who's your mama? You have to know who this kid is. That's why all you FBAs, if y'all got mamas like mine, good Lord, my mom is so goddamn meticulous. My mom knows everybody. Do y'all have one of them moms who knows everybody in the damn neighborhood? Raise your hand if you got one of them moms. Your mom knew everybody. You could just, or knew about them. You ask your mom, who is that person? Oh, that's Ophelia's grandson. She had a baby by Curtis before she got married, and that's their other cousin's nephew. Man, my mom could just break down a family tree off rip. You understand? That's how thorough we knew people. Some of our families, boy, you can just point somebody out and they can give you the whole rundown on them. You understand? My mom is meticulous with that. My mom be bringing up stuff. You don't remember Sally Jean? No, that was Cleophas's sister. They had went to school with you. You don't remember because they were born in Cleveland, but they came down to Alabama. Oh, God, I don't remember. I'll be lost. But my mom be on that shit. So some of y'all moms, we would know who's who. So we would ask, where you from? You know, we would want to know who was around. We like to know if anything happened, we would need to know who to contact. So we made sure everybody was good. So we needed to know who was around. But boy, when you ask some of these people now, they start talking real weird, and you start saying, "Man, where you from? Wait, what do you mean, nigga? We're all the same, nigga. You're being divisive. Oh, why are you getting offended? Oh, what are you getting offended for?" Because see, when we start asking where you from, see that exposes immediately their disconnection from us right there. Uh-huh. And then they get offended, and they get uncomfortable when they get reminded that they don't have the same history. And then a lot of these people, they fear being excluded from foundational Black American culture because we are the culture here. And they don't want to be reminded that their ass is a guest in this culture. Yes, you are. I don't want to hear, I was born in America, nigga. You are still a guest in this culture. You don't come from the lineage, and that's okay. If I go and have a kid in Nigeria, that Nigerian kid or that kid that I had in Nigeria would still be a guest in the culture because he's not from the lineage. You understand? So you don't really have the nuances and the bloodline of the lineage that we have. And that's okay. That's not a bad thing. I'm not Jamaican. If Jamaicans come over and they celebrate their culture, shout out to them. I look at it from an outsider. That's okay. I don't have to crowbar myself into Jamaican culture or their lineage. I'm not offended. If they say, oh no, Bumbaclot, you're not Jamaican. Okay, you're right. I'm not offended by that. I have my own beautiful culture here. But the thing is, people get offended when we say you're not of this culture because we're expected to let everybody share and parasite off of our shit. And we're saying, no, no, everybody's going to start showing respect. There's going to be respect all the way around. We're going to have, you're going to show us the same respect that we give you to your culture. You're not going to come over here and start claiming our shit. That's disrespectful. And it's meant to be disrespectful. Because see, when we start asking where you're from, that challenges the whole we're all the same. We only become the same when it comes to us. You understand? We all one big nigga. It only becomes that when it comes to our lineage. Now we're supposed to respect Japan, not Japan, but the Trinidad. We're supposed to respect their culture. We're supposed to respect Puerto Rican culture. They got the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We got to respect it. The Caribbean Day Parade. We got to respect it. Haitian Flag Day. We got to respect it. It's a unique thing, and we respect it. It's all unique, and then we respect it. But when it comes to us and our unique history, well, we're all the white, the butt drop you off first, nigga. We get that. No, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. And because when we start asking where you from and all of that, see, that starts threatening their social standings. Because see, a lot of academic nonprofit entertainment spaces, many of these non-FBAs, they position themselves as representatives of blackness. You understand? So when you start asking, hey man, where the hell are you from? That starts exposing that their cultural capital or their authority was built off of an identity that don't even belong to them. There was a dude I saw on TikTok. They were getting on his ass because he was up there. He was making a bunch of videos dissing Juneteenth. Like, man, Juneteenth, well, we don't need to celebrate no Juneteenth. Juneteenth, that's, yeah, the white man um giving us Juneteenth. We don't need no June. What we celebrating slavery for? We don't need to do that. And somebody pointed out, wait a minute, nigga, you're Nigerian. You're a Nigerian immigrant, dude. And yeah, they pulled up his Nigerian flag. So he's over here as a Nigerian immigrant. So yeah, people are checking that stuff. They start getting into the background, then they want to cop please. Yeah, you're not at liberty to sit here and act as a representative because you're going to come in with a foreigner mindset. So you're not going to have the same reverence for our history as we do. So you don't need to speak on it. FBA family, when y'all check these people, you are 100% correct. Don't let them shame you. You're 100% correct to check their asses when they try to speak on our shit. Well, I can't speak. I'm black too. I can't speak on blackness. No, nigga, you can't speak on this. You're not going to speak on this. We're not going to listen to you. You're not a representative of our lineage. You don't have the same reverence for it. You don't come from that. Dude, my grandmother was alive the same time Harriet Tubman was alive. So I look at that history different. It's more of a lived experience for me and other foundational Black Americans. We're going to honor it a different way. It hits to home. We got families still in the South who was touching that same soil that the enslaved people were touching. We done been in those woods and them swamps and them waterways, and we done touched the water, the soil and the land with that ancestral energy. It hits us different. So there's going to be a certain level of respect and honor that we have for it. Whereas a person who comes from the lineage who stole some of the people, they're going to look at it a certain way too. You see how that works? Huh? Let's keep it all the way a bean. Let's keep it all the way a bean. So, yeah, everybody can't speak up and represent our culture. It is unique. That's why the Sheila Jackson Lees and people like that who doesn't come from our lineage, they start having a quote reparations bill that sits around and is a big ass decades long nothing burger. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they elevate these non FBAs to political statures. they bring them into political power knowing that they don't have a historic camaraderie. So they're not going to feel any type of guilt for disenfranchising us. That's why they do this by design. The Winston Shears and all of these people that they bring into power and let them be governors and lieutenant governors and senators and presidents and all of that stuff. They understand that the non-FBAs are not going to stomp for us, and it's not going to mess with their conscience. You understand? And the other day, I broke down how people like Marion Barry and all of that. No matter, you can say what you want about Marion Barry. Barry looked out for the black community out there in D.C. That's why they loved him. Why they revered him. Some of the FBA politicians did look out for the community. This is why they had to start demonizing them. You see. So we just got to be very real about this stuff. Y'all raise your hand. We got a lot of folks in here. We chopping it up heavy. We're chopping it up heavy. What's up, Drain? Drays? What's your name? Drays? Okay, let's get Dre. Yeah, I think that's your name. Drays, hop on in, bro. Mr. Dre. What's up,
Hello.
Drays?
Hey, I was only putting the thumbs down because I wanted to get your attention, Tariq Nasheed. You my mentor. I talked to you before. I've been listening to you since I was like 14 years old. Back in 2010, that's the first time I listened to you
Yes.
through the barbershop.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I just want to say, can I get my shit off? No disrespect. I want to get my shit off. I don't like Africans. I don't like none of these people. I don't like Mexicans. I don't like not one of these people, man. These people talk so much shit about us, like on a regular basis. And then Tariq, they say that we can't talk shit to them. It's like the constant disrespect. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not immigrant. My mom ain't an immigrant. My dad ain't an immigrant. I was born in Rochester, New York,
Right.
but my family is from Sanford, Florida, Winter Haven, Florida, and Georgia.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for the call. I don't dislike anybody. I don't dislike Africans. I don't even dislike Latinos. I don't dislike them. Now, you got some knuckleheads here and there. That's whatever. But I don't let anybody disrespect us. That's my thing. And collectively, a lot of these people, they operate as a block when it comes to political, economic, and social power. They start working as a group to undermine us. So I start looking at what we need to do as a group to empower ourselves and protect ourselves. So this ain't even about like or dislike or anything. This is business, like the other caller said. We gotta. This is politics, business. I'm looking at it from that perspective to a certain degree. This is business. I don't have no emotions in this shit. Our lineage is our lineage, and then that's not an emotional argument. That our lineage is locked in. We're not no generic Africans, like what the brother from South Africa said. You're Africans. Okay. What African nation is doing anything for us? Nothing. There you go. There you go. I don't claim shit that don't claim me. That's how life works. There's no African nations helping us, or has helped us, or has given us sanctuary, or has given us protection. None. You know who gave me that? You foundational Black Americans. You know who saved me? You. You know who fed me? You. You know who's family to me? You. It was foundational Black Americans who looked out for other foundational Black Americans, and that's who I stumped for. When I grew up, it was the foundational Black American community looking out for each other, feeding each other. Somebody had a kid and they needed to go to work, and somebody watched their kid, they sent them to my grandmother's house. Foundational Black Americans watch foundational Black Americans. It was the FBA women in the neighborhood making sure I got home at 6 o'clock when the street light came on. Wasn't Abasola or no damn body. It was foundational Black Americans looking out for me. When I was in Detroit as a child, getting lost, wandering around in the streets, it was foundational Black Americans in Detroit made sure that I got home safe. You understand? That's who I give props to. We looked out for each other. I'm not giving props to no outside group because they didn't do shit. Let's keep that shit. Let's keep it a bean. We got to sit up here and give props to folks okay, who did some egregious shit. If we're gonna go there, uh, and I'm not trying to beat up on the Africans. I'm not because we got some riders, we got some lovely people, but I'm talking about as a group. I'm talking as a group, as a group, as a group. How people operate as a group. I'm not talking about a couple of individual people who are cool, which you're going to have that. You're going to have individuals who are cool. You're going to have individuals who are grimy. But collectively, as a group, nobody has really helped us. But collectively, as a group, we've always helped people. That's the flip side. As a group, we always get together and help people. Yeah. All right. Now, who is this? Who's this person here? Got a bunch of watermelons in that thing. Magdi, what's up, Magdi? Hop on, Magdi. Mr. Magni or Mrs. Magni? Want to hop on? Unmute your microphone.
Yeah, I am Majdi. I am from Gaza. Please help me.
You're from Gaza?
Yes,
Are you safe over there? Are you in a war-torn area?
I don't speak English. You can
Oh,
speak Arabic.
I don't speak Arabic, but are you okay?
Oh, yes. Please help me only.
Now, what do you need?
Uh, Please help me. I money.
You want some money. What do you need money for? Here they go with this shit.
I don't speak English.
Well, you said money. You could speak money. You spoke good enough English to ask for some damn money. I heard that. You learned how to say that real good. What you need money for? I mean, he don't speak English. He said he wants some money real clear, didn't he? Magdi, hop on, man.
I don't speak English. I speak Arabic.
Okay. What what do you need money for?
I have Bible.
You have what?
Bible.
What is he saying? Okay. Okay, brother. Okay. Thank you, dude. This dude is trying to run a finesse. Okay. Thank you.
Th-
Let me get in my
Thank you.
they
شكرا.
they always call up here trying to run a finesse. They stay calling us trying to get some paper off us. Them Indians over there in the Middle East, they call up here all the time running a finesse. You dig? So yeah, I'm cool. I am cool. You go up in the white spaces. You don't go in the white spaces asking for no damn money. They always come around us. Man. Let me see. Y'all raise your hands because we're gonna get some folks in here because we do have a lot of people in here. Let me see. DJ Genesis. Let me get DJ Genesis. She's raising her hand. So this young lady say something. Yeah. DJ, what's up, dear? What's up, DJ? Okay, DJ Genesis, you've been doing all that hand gesturing. Now your phone is acting janky. What's up, Cyber Regina? I see you down there. Okay, let's wait on DJ Genesis to get her phone together. I don't think her baby daddy paid the bill. Let me get her out until she get it together. And we'll get her back in a minute. Let's get let me see. Johnny Charles. Boy, that's a soul name right there. Johnny Charles. What's up, Johnny Charles? Boy, that's one of them um Mississippi, Alabama names. Johnny Charles. Johnny Charles, you in here, brother? Johnny Charles. Johnny Charles ain't saying nothing. Johnny Charles probably.
Tariq, what's going on, player? I got you.
What's up, Johnny?
What you said one of them Mississippi, North Carolina, baby, North Carolina. That's where I'm from, Louisiana, North Carolina.
There
I
it
do
is.
got one of them names, baby. Peep game, man. You know I'm from Oakland, California, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be a barber instructor at the Molars, right?
Okay.
And man, let me tell you about them Africans, man. Haircut $6. They always came in running game not to pay $6, man.
Damn.
I'm telling you. $6, man. It was always something wrong with their hairline. So when you be talking about their hairline, I'm like, man, Tariq know what the hell he talking about. I had a brother come in there one time, got a razor shave. I'm talking about we shaved his head with a razor. Gave him the mirror, and he gonna say, you messed my line up. I'm saying, nigga, if you don't get your ass up out of here, you, you got to get your ass up out of here, man. Real with the quick too, man. So, and one more thing, man, I want to say this about the did you see that Mexican dude on that show? And he was saying about the N-word, and he said, what do you say? Any black dudes in the room? And then he said, what they gonna do about it? See, he had never run his mouth like that in Oakland. Never.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that the other day. He's from Texas.
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah. So yeah, that when I knew he wasn't from out here in California talking all that, what they gonna do about it shit. So yeah, out there in Texas, and a lot of folks feel a certain way about that. And I'm gonna do a whole broadcast really breaking that down because it was another dude, Mexican dude from Atlanta, kind of talking the same little greasy way. So yeah, that they think that's gonna be a thing to talk all that tough shit on the internet. So that's gonna be very interesting.
Microphone check. Microphone check.